Hey gang, Jane back today with another fun crochet granny square tutorial. I often get asked if I can turn a hexagon shape into a square. So this has been on the request list for a while now, and it's time to dive in and show you guys my method of changing up a granny hexagon into a granny square. In today's tutorial, I'm going to use my Flora hexagon and square it up. Although hexagon shapes give a unique design that creates artistic and geometric pieces, squares are actually more versatile, easier to mix and match with other designs, and honestly easier to join together. So to take a hexagon design and then square it up is really a win-win. Unique design and versatile shape. Remember, you can find more of my granny square free patterns over on my blog, both hexagons, squares, and octagons. And I'm always coming up with more ideas, techniques, and projects. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you catch all my new tutorials as they drop on YouTube. Now, before we get into this, let's just briefly talk about shapes for a minute to help you give a better idea of where we're going with this. The challenge with turning a hexagon shape into a square is that you're going from 6 corners to 4 corners, and 6 does not work evenly into 4. So the corners are going to have to be placed in what seems like odd places on the edges. 2 edges of your squares will have a hexagon point in the middle, and 2 of them will have the flat side in the middle. Because a square doesn't fit around a hexagon evenly, it's easy to end up with a rectangle instead of a square. A great way to tell if you actually squared your hexagon properly is to fold it like a triangle, and if it folds perfectly from corner to corner, then you have a win. The next question you may ask is, will this work with any granny hexagon shape? Yes and no. The concept of placing the corners the way that I have in this tutorial will work with any hexagon. However, the number of stitches and the heights of the stitches that are needed to make the corners themselves will depend on the size and stitch count of the particular hexagon pattern you're working on. So you will need to do some tweaking in that area. This particular tutorial starts with the Flora square already worked up to and including round 7. So check out the description below to find the information on finding the original Flora square pattern to get you started. All right, let's get going on this project. I love using up scraps in my squares, so of course I end up with balls like this without the labels. But to find yarn that has labels so that I can show you guys what I've used in this is usually a bit of a hunt in my yarn shelves. Now, the colors that I used and will be using for this Flora square are charcoal, which is a Bernat Premium, walnut, also Bernat but is Super Value, clay, which is Bernat Super Value as well, and putty, which is Impeccable by Loops and Threads, which is Michael's. Walnut will be the key color in this tutorial, but we'll be using the others to add a nice border to our new square shape. You're also going to need a crochet hook, which I'm using a 5.5. This is the Susan Bates Ergonomic Silva Loom. I get a lot of questions on this, a nice foam handle, and I love these hooks. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle. Gather your supplies and get that Flora hexagon made up to round 7. So again, you can find the link for that in the description below for the original Flora hexagon. You want to get all the way to round 7 completed, and then you're ready for this one. And then we're going to continue on with round 8 being the squaring round. So I have my walnut color ready to go here, and I'm going to get ready for my squaring round. We start by joining with a single crochet, and we're going to join in the first single crochet to the left of the corner. In round 7, we did the corners with a single crochet, chain 1 single crochet. And what we want to do is pick the single crochet that's on the left side of that corner. That's where we're going to join. And I join with a standing single crochet. So I wrap my yarn around my hook first, holding it with my finger. I hold that cut end in place. I go into the stitch and under the cut end, and then I complete my single crochet. Let's zoom in. So I've joined my yarn with a single crochet in that first stitch to the left. This would be the chain 1. It's actually really hard to see because the chain 1 doesn't leave a lot of space, but you want to go into that first stitch. Now we're going to work single crochets across this edge. So let's zoom back out a bit here. So now we want to work 8 more single crochets across this edge, 1 in every stitch. I'm just going to work over my cut end to work it in, going into the next stitch, single crochet. continue to work single crochets, 1 per stitch, until you have a total of 9, including that first one where we joined the yarn in. So let's see how many we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 1 more single crochet to do. So now I've done the 9 stitches. I've worked into this last single crochet before the chain 1. I want to skip over the chain 1 and work into the next single crochet, and I want to work a half double crochet. So right into that next stitch, not the chain 1 space, and work a half double crochet. Next stitch will be a double crochet, and we're still working 1 stitch for 1 stitch here. And now we've reached our corner. It doesn't look like it should be a corner, but you're putting 6 corners into 4. So this is where it gets tricky. The next stitch right here will be a treble, and we're going to work our corner. So it's actually 2 trebles, a chain 3, and 2 trebles, all into this next stitch. So treble is wrapped twice around the hook. Insert into that next stitch, still working over the cut yarn here, and complete your treble by going through 2, 2, and 2. It's a complete treble stitch. Doing another one of those into the same space, 2, 2, and 2. So we have 2 trebles into that 1 stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we work 2 more trebles into that same stitch. So this is your complete corner done into this stitch. Another treble, and that completes your corner. So here we have 9 single crochets. Skipping over the chain 1 space, we do half double crochet, double crochet, and then our corner, 2 treble, chain 3, 2 treble. Now we're going to work down the next edge, which will take us to about here. The next corner will be about here. Let's take a look at our actual finished piece to give you a better idea of where we're at. Here's the finished hexagon square, and this is how far we've come. So I'm going to line it up here, and you're going to see we worked our single crochets across, and then we did our height increasing to the corner, and there's your corner. And then we're going to come down here. So you're going to decrease the stitch height, not the stitches themselves, but the height of the stitches to this point. Then you're going to increase the stitch height to about here where your corner happens, and then very quickly decrease your stitch height and go single crochet. Going to repeat what we did here, single crochet across, and then you're going to quickly increase your stitch height like we did here to your corner, and then again decreasing stitch height to this point, increasing to the corner, and quickly decreasing to finish the round. This whole section right here is 1 repeat, and then you repeat it again. So you're only doing it twice. So now that you know what we're doing, we're going to work all the way across until we hit the next corner. There's going to be lots of different stitches going on here. Next stitch is going to be a treble into the next stitch. Now a double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet again into the next stitch. So each, at this point, every stitch goes into a separate stitch. Half double crochet, and then a half double crochet, and we're going to finish off this half of the edge with a single crochet. Now we've reached the chain 1 of this point. We're not working into it, but we are going to chain 1. Now we're going to reverse what we just did right here, and we're going to go a single crochet into the first stitch on the other side of that chain 1. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see where we are here. So the last stitch we worked into is here, and you can see these are the single crochet, chain 1, single crochet of the previous round. Here's your single crochet you just worked, chain 1, and you want to go into this stitch right here and work a single crochet. It's not the chain 1, but the chain 1 is such a small space. The only reason I put it in there on the previous round is to create some space, and here again, I want to create space, but I need an extra stitch in there that doesn't create any height. That's why I'm using the chain 1. Let's continue on down here. I'm going to zoom back out and we're going to finish our edge. Okay, working back down to the next corner, we start with, we have our single crochet already on the other side of the chain space. Next stitch will be a half double crochet. A half double crochet again. Every stitch goes into a different stitch at this point. Double crochet into the next. Double crochet into the next stitch again. And now we're doing a treble. And we've reached our next corner. This is going to be 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles into this next stitch. So again, trebles are twice around the hook again. You want 2 of them in that same stitch, right there. Chain 3, and 2 more trebles into that stitch. Next stitch will be a double crochet. We're going to quickly decrease our height of stitches and a half double crochet. And we've reached our next hexagon point, which is a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet from the previous round. So we've worked our last stitch on this part. Now we have the chain space, and we're going to start again back to where we were. So taking a closer look at this, you can see this is our corner right here, which was our 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 treble into that one stitch right there. And then you quickly went double crochet, half double crochet, and you're ready to start the next edge. So let's zoom out and look at our whole square. So here we have the finished square, and let's overlay the one that we've already worked on. Let's make sure that we line it up properly. There we go. So we started here and we worked our single crochets, then we worked to a corner, and then we did the height decrease. So I'm not saying stitch decrease, height, the height of the stitches. See how it went like a triangle? To here, to the next point, and then we increased the heights of the stitches to the next corner, and we're ready to start here. So we're literally halfway done. We're going to do everything that we just did, starting here and going all the way down and across this edge and finishing off. So you've already done everything once. Everything you've done, you've already done it. All we have to do is repeat it. So here we are at that single crochet, chain 1, single crochet from the previous round, and we want to skip over the chain 1 and go into that first single crochet with a single crochet. And we're going to do 8 more for a total of 9. 1 into every stitch across this edge. One more here. I'm going to count them just to make sure. Always count your stitches. It's much easier to count as soon as you've done them rather than another round up where you realize you made a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. I have the right number. Now we're going to quickly change our stitch heights to go to a corner. Skip over the chain 1 space and go into the first single crochet after it. That's going to be a half double crochet stitch. Now we work a double crochet into the next stitch. And we're at our corner. We're going to work 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 trebles into this next stitch. So that's 1 treble. That's 2 trebles. Chain 3 and 2 more trebles twice around the hook. Don't forget to go twice around the hook. This is a very tall stitch. And there is my corner. 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles. Now working our way up to the next point, we do another treble in the next stitch. Now we work a double crochet into the next stitch and a double crochet in the next stitch. Now then over the next 2 stitches are going to be 2 half double crochets. So half double crochet in the next stitch and a half double crochet in the next one, and finishing off with a single crochet in this next stitch, and you will be right back up to the next point, and that'll be the last single crochet on this edge of the hexagon. Now we want to chain 1 because we need to create this extra space and this extra stitch, and then single crochet into the next stitch on the other side of the chain 1 from the previous round. And we're going to work our way back down, reversing what we've done here. So we have the single crochet. Now we want to do half double crochet, another half double crochet into the next stitch. Every stitch has its own stitch now. Double crochet and another double crochet. Now we want to do a treble. And we're back to a corner. So we want to do, it doesn't look like a corner, right? Because it's in the middle of an edge, but it's a square corner. So in this next stitch, we're going to do 2 trebles, chain 3s, and 2 trebles. So 2 trebles. That's 1. That's 2. Now I want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 trebles will complete this corner. So there we have 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles. Next stitch will be a double crochet, half double crochet in the next stitch, and that completes this round. You're right back to where you started with the single crochet. You want to slip stitch in this first single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, and pull it through the one on the hook. That completes your squared round. So you can see here you have the square points in place. It can still seem a little wonky because you are going from 6 corners to 4 corners. That's why I like to put in the extra rounds. So let's take a look here at the finished one. We've done this brown part, and now we're going to do another round of brown, which is going to crisp up our corners, and then we'll finish it off with the borders of white and black. So continuing on with the walnut color, we're going to work the next round, and we have ended here with the slip stitch in the first single crochet of the previous round. We want to chain 1 and single crochet into that same stitch. Now chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet into the next one. You're going to hear that a lot. Skip the next stitch and single crochet into the next one. That's what most of this round is about, with a few exceptions. So chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet in the next one. We're going to continue to do that until we hit this last stitch. So I'll walk you through that. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one, and then repeat. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one. Keep working that way till we get to that last stitch. And here we are, skipping this second last stitch and working into this last stitch before the chain 3. Chain 1 and single crochet into the chain 3 space. Chain 3 and now single crochet again into the chain 3 space. And we're ready to work across our next edge. Now this next edge is going to be a little different because we have a chain space in the middle of it. So we'll work our way across. Chain 1. Now single crochet in the first stitch. Don't skip over anything yet. Single crochet in that first stitch after you've done a chain 1 after the whole corner. So single crochet, chain 1. Now we start skipping stitches. Skip this next stitch and single crochet in the next one. And repeat that, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next one, chain 1, skipping the next stitch. We are now going to single crochet in the chain 1 space because we've come up to it. Single crochet in that chain 1 space right at that point. Chain 1, skip the stitch after the chain 1 space, and single crochet in the next one. So on this edge, we have that chain 1 space. That's how you work it. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one. Now you're seeing we're getting very repetitive here because it's single crocheting, chain 1s, and skipping stitches every second stitch. Now we come to the next corner and you skip over the second last stitch and single crochet in the last stitch. To go into the corner, we chain 1 and then we single crochet into the corner, chain 3, and then single crochet again into the corner, and we've completed that edge and the corner. Now working over this next one, there's no chain 1 space on this side. Only here at these points on these two sides. So this next edge is straightforward, chain 1, single crochet in every second stitch. So I will go quiet here. I'll get you started. We start with a chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, and now we are going to work in every second stitch with a chain 1 in between. Single crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch. You can watch me work it right to this corner and we'll do the corner together. Here we are at the next corner. You want to skip the second last stitch and single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, and then in the corner, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and a single crochet. Now we've done 2 full edges and a partial edge here. Now we're working back across this edge with the chain space in the middle. So let's work our way up to that chain space. Chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next. Keep doing that until we get to that chain 1 space in the center of this row. And we get there pretty quick. So right here, I did the chain 1, skip this stitch, and there's the chain 1 right there, the chain 1 space. Work into that. Then chain 1 and continue on to the corner by skipping the next stitch and single crochet in the next. We get to the last 2 stitches, you skip the second last and you work into the last. Chain 1, work your corner, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, that's your corner. We have a few stitches left to complete this round. Chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one, chain 1, and we're ready to join our round. You skip over this stitch and you slip stitch in the first single crochet, and that completes your round. Let's take a look at it. So now you can see the edges are a lot crisper, the corners are a lot crisper. Let's pull in on the one that's already finished and take a look beside it. And you can see it matches this one and your points are a lot sharper. So now we're going to do a round of white and a round of black, which is the same single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and it really brings your square into a nice shape. So I'm going to be starting a new color, so I want to cut my color, cut a few inches, pull it through, and then, like I like to do, I actually darn this end in now so that it's done. So the way I secure this end is I go back into the stitch that I just came out of, like that's the slip stitch one right there. I go down 2 loops, and then I pull it back up 1 stitch behind, and then I just go into the back loops only all the way across, and I get as many of them on there as I can, and that's where I hide my end, because then I'm just going to work over that next round so it works them in even better. There we go. I have it all the way to the corner, so I'm just going to clip it there. And now we're ready to join our new yarn. So I'm going to join this one in a corner because that's where I like to join new colors. In any one of these chain 3 space corners, we're going to join with a standing single crochet. So I wrap the yarn around the hook, insert into the corner and under the cut end strand, pull up a loop and complete my single crochet. We're going to work a single crochet chain 1 edge all the way across. So we work them into the chain spaces that are already there. So everything's already set up for us. I work my end in as I go, so I take my cut end up over the working yarn and I chain 1. Then I bring it back down. I go into the next chain space from the previous round under my cut end and I work a single crochet. This whole edge will be chain 1 single crochet all the way across, and you will only be working in the chain spaces that were already created. So let's work our way to the next edge, and you can just watch me do this. I'm going to work my yarn in as I go, up and down across the working yarn and then back. Only working in the chain spaces that were created in the round before. And I'll keep working my yarn in until that end kind of just disappears. So I'm just going to leave it like that. The shorter it gets, the harder it gets to work in. And I'll just clip that off at the end. Now we've reached the next chain space corner and we're going to work into that with a single crochet, chain 3, and a single crochet. Let's take a look at what we've done here. So not counting the corners, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 single crochets and 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chain 1 spaces per edge. And then you have the corners, which are a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. So again, you're going to go across this edge exactly the same way. Chain 1, single crochet in the first chain 1 space. You're not working into any stitches on this one, just chain spaces. And you'll complete this the same way. So you can see here how I went around the corner, everything in chain spaces and chain 1s. So I will let you go ahead and complete this all the way around. I'll meet you back at this corner and we'll complete this round together. I've worked all the way around my square and I'm back to my final corner that I started in. So we worked our last single crochet in this chain space, chain 1, single crochet in that same corner you started in, chain 3, and slip stitch in that first single crochet. So just put it in there. I love the look of the standing single crochet, but it is a little bit tricky to get your hook into, especially when you're working with a bigger hook. So now we have completed this. I'm going to clip my yarn because I'm done with this color. And I will darn it in the same way I did the run before, where I'll take it down, loop it, and then I'll go along these stitches right here, just back loops only. And then that will be worked in as well. There is our square with one color border on it. That one takes you to round 10 and this one takes you to round 11. The only difference here is I added one round of black, exactly the same as the white. So I won't go ahead and do that because you can add as many or as few of this kind of round as you want. The rounds are exactly the same. You start in the corner and you only work in the chain spaces and you do your corners with the chain 3s. So in this one, I added a round of black, but you could keep it with just this round of white because at this point, your square is nice and crisp. You could do a blocking on that. I usually do just because the hexagon can cause its own little skewing issues. This square measures out to about 7 inches. And then by adding this extra round, I've pretty much added another 1/2 inch. So let's put this one on top and just see. You pretty much add a 1/2 inch to your square with each one of these rounds. So it's really handy if you're trying to add a bigger square, just add a few more of those rounds on. And now your Flora hexagon has a beautiful square frame around it. So you can use it to make blankets, sweaters, and even mix and match it with other square shapes. Hop on over to my blog to find more free patterns for my squares, hexagons, octagons, all sorts of stuff over there. And you can find more creative inspirational ideas over on my Instagram at jspcreate.crochets. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel so you're sure to catch all my tutorials as they come out. Thanks for crocheting with me today. I'll see you in the next tutorial.